Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Sup, girl?
Take three.
Take three. I know we're at number three. Yeah,
That's right.
short recordings in one sitting because we have life. We have life and we got things to do and places to be and it's fun and exciting and all the things. So we are doing multiple recordings in one sitting. We're keeping our same clothes on. So this is just the way we're showing up and it's okay and we're good with it.
That's right. Because Amy makes this happen. That's what she does. She gets it all planned out and she makes it happen. I'm telling you right now, I'm telling the truth. Speaking of telling the truth, that's what I wanted to go into.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
I feel like a lot of us don't know how to be ourselves. And so recently I created an kind of like another version of myself, or we could just call it an avatar, because I'm not being present on it, but I'm just speaking my words exactly how I would speak them with no judgment in a platform that nobody knows who I am. Nothing. And so far I have one person following, but it doesn't matter because it's like in the space that I'm at, I'm not expecting really a whole lot from that. But on the other side of that, I'm figuring out who I am. What are my words? Because I feel like we get so caught up in what, and I know I still do it, that we get so caught up in what others think that we should do, or what others think about us, or not wanting to offend them, or rock the boat, or do all this shit. Because I say shit because that's just shit, because it's not true. But I'm getting confidence from doing this. And I'm speaking myself. And there was a game that we play here at home online with a group of other people, like 50, there's 15 of us all together. But we play these games that we get together quite frequently. And it's like mine wasn't working. Well, right, we're in retrograde. So retrograde means electronic devices and shit's gonna happen. That's just how it is. But it opens a doorway for other things, for other possibilities. And it's just, with that happening, I've just kind of learned to let go of a lot of stuff. And so even in that process, I've been contacting the people and they weren't responding back to me and telling me anything. So when you file like a complaint, it keeps this open conversation. So it's like you've got just this message board with this one person and they're not responding to me, anything I'm saying. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do a reading on you later today. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And so this is what I did. And I was so motivated by this that I did it with a couple of things. And I'm like, I'm just going to do a reading. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it at one. And then I'm like so then I sent him another message. Like, I'm keeping this constant conversation going. No one's talking to me. I'm just having the conversation, but I'm finding that I'm being myself in those places because, well, I don't care. What do I have to lose? You're going to kick me out. You're going to kick me out of the game and I can't play it anymore. Or you know what I mean? There's these things, not to say that it didn't irritate me because I wanted to play, because I got a team and they need my backup. I help out. I'm a contributor.
Yeah.
But it's like all these things, but it's just realizing that all these things were platforms, because I'm just a name on a game that's not even real. I'm just a name on a platform that I can practice to learn how to be myself, and who is myself, and what do I believe in. And I don't know until I start putting these things out there, because I don't have these conversations. I mean, I have them with you, I have them with several people, but I'm not having them where I'm being aware of what I'm writing, what I'm saying, like, the whole time. So it's kind of changed things, and it's really making me, like, I feel more confident. I'm letting things go. I'm just different now. I'm in a different space. I'm in the space where I'm not just saying, hey guys, have faith, listen to the guidance in you. No, I'm in the space. I'm having faith. I'm listening to the guidance and I'm seeing what comes of it. Oh, okay. So you said I'm not going to be working anymore. Okay. So the next dream I had the following night was I'm looking up medications, or vitamins, and the vitamin that would normally be $25, I'm shocked because it's $5. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I start looking through, and the information in the dream was prices were dropping. So it was like, okay, well, that's interesting too. But I'm not going to hold on to it. I'm not going to hold on to the outcome, but I'm going to see how it happens. And I'm going to remember that, hey, I did have a dream, and this is what happened from that space. And I don't know how long that's going to take. Like I said before, the other one said August. Does that mean August of this year, August of 2028? What does that mean? I don't know. And I don't care, because I don't have an attachment to an outcome, because what I'm attached to now, which is not even an attachment, is just learning how to be right now. Even to the space of, if I'm in a shit mood, and I'm in my head and I'm listening to the crap that I'm saying, because that crap that I normally don't listen to, and I just kind of ride along the wave of being angry, I start listening to, and I'm like, what? If I all of a sudden split with myself, I'd be looking at myself being like, what the hell is your deal? Like, dude, hey, come on over here. Let me give you a hug. You know what I mean? Because let me just give you a hug.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like. I mean, because that's sometimes when I hear myself, when I'm paying attention to that crap talk, I'm like, who are you? Like you've been a beast that's been running free for years and years and years, and I see you, and it's okay for you to be a beast. But I love you. Let's go over here and play. You know, we don't have to stay in that space anymore.
Yeah. I interesting enough, because this always happens with us and I love it. Over the weekend, this past weekend, I went to a leadership training, and there was a team building exercise that we did. It was, so Friday night was kind of a fun night, and then Saturday was our workshop. So Friday night, we did a team building exercise. It was quite interesting, and you had to, well, you didn't have to, but it was beneficial if there was a lead communicator. Now, for those that don't know me, let's just set a premise here that back in the day, I mean, I naturally have an introverted personality, which means I can just pull back and be very quiet, not want to be seen, not be the star of the show, not be in front of everybody, like just the back of the crowd, low key. That's my MO since I was little, because of my upbringing, and no desire to be a well, I can't say that. Desire to be a leader, not confident enough to do it. So there's that. So I go to this leadership, and so our facilitator for our group said, she said, it would be of your best interest to have somebody who is leading the group. And I am the youngest at the table. Okay, first of all. so I'm just sitting there. My natural instinct is to just be quiet, just see what happens. And there are like 7 of us at this table, and every one of them said, "Nah, I don't want to do it. No, you know, well, no, I don't want it." And they're just going back and forth. And then all of a sudden they look at me and they're like, "Amy can do it." I was like, okay, I got this, right? So there was 2 rounds to this thing that we were doing, and so we did the first one, and you had to display your work on the wall, and then we did the second round, and of course that has to go up on the wall, and then there were some judges there was 5 groups, and so we got our stuff on the wall, and then there's judges, right? They're trying to decide whose work was the best and all that. Well, it ended up, no kidding, loved it. It was so fun. We got overall.
Nice.
And they were all like, "Oh my gosh, Amy, you were so good at this, and you were so good at that, and doing this and talking to us," and like all these kudos. And it was just one of those, proud moments for myself to recognize how far I've come. Mm-hmm. And then in this organization I'm in that brought me to this leadership program, in traveling with another lady, she was complimenting me on how I run our meetings. Like right now I'm in charge of a committee meeting, and I'm just like, stay on focus. Let's get this done. Everybody has a life. I have a life. I got things to do. I don't want to sit here and be talking about Mars and Jupiter or anything else, because we got to get this done so I can move on to my next, right? Yeah. I just have a kind of a tight schedule with all the things I've got going on right now. And she was just compliment. She's like, "I like the right way you run meetings. You stay focused, you get to the point, get things done, and la la la." I'm just like, damn, girl, look at me go.
That's right.
so exciting. So again, you're talking about building your confidence in this way, which is great. To me, it's like, do what you need to do to start to not start, but to continue a path of building your confidence in a way that eventually, because right now this is kind of a mask, right? But eventually you just step out and say, this is me. And this is what I
100%. 100%. But it's like, I don't know until I practice, until I
right.
get into the space. And it's like, as I'm going, I'm finding what I like and what I want to do and what,
Right.
you know, and I don't know right now what all that means, but I just know that I just am doing the same thing I said before. We got to go with what feels good. So
Yeah.
I pay attention to what feels good. And it feels like it feels like I let go of everything or I removed the dam and now the water is just flowing. So now like there's a natural flow that's going on instead
Yeah.
of me trying to route the water or block the water so it doesn't get down here. No, I need that natural flow, and it's adding that to me, which is giving me confidence, and it's letting me just be whatever I'm going to be, not unapologetically, because I find that a lot of times I'm apologetic about stuff like that. Like if I had everything that didn't match my dishes and handing something out, I probably would have been like, oh God, I'm sorry, or, whatever. And I loved how I loved everything. Like I'm going back to the house thing again. I loved how everything was just the way it was. I
Yeah.
love the simple vacuum cleaner that you can walk in and it doesn't matter if it's dark. It's got a green laser on it. Hello, Dyson. But anyways, it's like it's going around and it's electric. So you don't have to worry, it's battery operated, right? So you don't have to worry about plugging it in or anything like that. And when it needs to charge, you charge it and it charges quickly. It lets you know how much you're pulling in. But it makes it fun.
Yeah.
And just as I was telling my granddaughter that's here, I was telling her, she says, we were cleaning the sinks and she said, this is so much fun. I said, yeah, cleaning is so much fun. I said, but it just depends on, it's more fun, I think, when we go make the decision to do it instead of someone else telling us to do it.
Yep. And I just want to hit on, because I think this is important for the audience. A lot of people, well, we know this for a fact. So that a lot of people will use social media or platforms to be confident in certain ways, whatever way that might be, because it's easier to do that. The thing is they stay with that because then that becomes their persona or their identity, and that they're because they're confident in that way that they know they're being seen and heard, or not seen, but being heard and validated. Where what I've done for myself in my journey is, because I have a mentor and she's like, you got to feel the fear and do it anyway, and do exposure therapy. So I have put myself out there in front of people to practice and do the things and just keep building myself up in my confidence. So, whatever platform you choose and whatever direction or way you choose to do that, that's, go and do it. Just be aware that whatever you can do in behind the scenes, you're capable of doing in front of the scene, like center stage.
Yeah.
So it's give yourself permission to do what feels good for now, and evolve into something more with that.
Yeah. And really, the idea of it initially was to create for money. But as I was doing it, and it's like, this has been a bonus on top of it. As I was doing it, I was like, no, I'm putting out my positive messages. That's me. What's my downfall? I say, what's my downfall is no matter what, I'm going to see things as positive. I'm always going to find a nugget in things. That's me.
Yeah.
Like it or leave it. I don't really care. This is where I'm at. This is how I'm always going to see things, but I'm going to give you a spin on something. So you can tell me something that's negative and I'll try to get a spin on it and turn it into a positive. So for me, I'm in a space of what my intentions were initially, but also just being able to put out words in a space that people don't normally talk like that.
Yeah.
So, and it's not being, because there's a lot of different varieties that go on, but it's like not being a party to all that. Because I've got to also stand in my own power of what feels good for me.
Right.
And some things feel good for me and some things just don't feel right for me. So I'm only going to do the things that feel good for me. But in the process of all that for myself, I have gained confidence because I don't care. I'm saying my positivity without being worried that someone's going to judge it, or I'm going to sound stupid or whatever, because there's no one that knows, there's nobody that knows me. So if I sound stupid, who cares? So it's, for me, it's kind of getting a feel for things without being in that environment, but it's still at the same time, I changed my photo and stuff on YouTube. So it's like, that's helping me to realize that I'm just going to start whatever comes into that I decide to record or write down or type out or whatever it is, it'll go on there. It's because that's just part of, we're not meant to keep all the stuff within inside of us. We're meant to share, because when we share these experiences with others, then they recognize that they're not losing their mind, especially right now, because I think that there's so many people that are awakening, so many, and they don't even have any freaking clue what's going on. And it's like a foreign world to them, but we've been delving in it. We've been walking through it, experimenting, like feeling what feels good for us and what doesn't feel good for us. So like we've gone a long way in this journey. I haven't gone all the way. So I've always got my own teachers that I'm looking towards, but most of my stuff that I'm guided towards now is just that intuitive guidance that I have with inside. That's, to me, is the most valuable relationship I can have, is the one that I have with my soul. That is the most important relationship ever. And when I value that, then I don't look at myself and judge my body. But although I still do look in the mirror, and I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you? You're not even the same person that you were a year ago. It's like, what is going on with you? And
Right.
it's I like it, because this is the human experience. It's not to be attached to these vessels that we're in, but I'm going to have fun with it as long as I can, move around as good as I can, as long as I can.
And here's the thing, we're all going to leave this planet.
Yeah.
Like, we're all going to leave this planet at some
Thank
point,
you.
right? So,
Yeah.
so why am I giving so much into what your opinion of me is, or your judgments of me, or, you know, how you're criticizing? Why am I giving so much value to that when we're both going to be leaving the planet whenever? So who cares? I mean, it's like, live more fully. If you're not living fully, live a little more into it. If you're having the fear, you gotta do it anyway.
Yeah.
I
And
love
the universe has been walking us along, honestly, because that's how I feel a lot of times too. I just feel like I'm being guided. It's just like a journey on things, and it's like nothing's good or bad. If you step out on your left foot or your right foot, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Do it differently the next time. I mean, it's, to me, that's just part of the whole process, not to be so autopilot, right?
yeah. And Bev had mentioned at the beginning of this that I was the one that highly encouraged her to do this podcast. And if it wasn't for my journey, I would have never done that. I would not be sitting here with her. We would not be doing this. But because I chose a journey of learning to be confident and make changes in my life, I knew, because, well, from my perspective and the way I learned was exposure therapy. You step in there and you do it, and you mess it up. You mess it up, but you keep going, and then be proud of yourself that you did it. So I knew that worked for me, and I knew that could work for Bev. And so I just kept asking her, Bev, you want to do a podcast? Bev, you want to hop on YouTube? Bev, you want to do Facebook Live? Bev, you want to? And eventually she said yes, because here we are 4 years later. And how amazing has it been?
It's true. It's hilarious. Now you can't shut me up.
I know. She does most of the talking now. I think it's great.
It's crazy.
When you get on a roll and you start just talking and talking, I'm just like, this is so cool. Because I remember when, right? I remember when. So,
I'm glad you think it's cool, because sometimes it's like, oh, I just don't have there. It just is, right? It just comes just
I got a
flying
pen
out.
and paper. I take notes while you're talking, so I remember to come back around to whatever it is that popped in my head. It's not a big deal. But anyway,
Yeah.
where we were and where we are is such a great journey. And in that journey, even both of us have built even more confidence in showing up and doing this and having conversations and being vulnerable. And that's a celebration. That's exciting. And have we always gotten it right? No. Have we always gotten it wrong? No. But we show up. We show up in the best way we can in those moments. So I would highly encourage those that are listening to just go do it. Just go do it. Go mess it up. Go fail, so to speak. We don't fail as long as we learn, but just do it anyway.
Yeah, be like a scientist, right? You just try, you sometimes have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that makes sense.
You're like, oh, now I get it after the 5,780
Yeah.
time.
And now 1,000 people are happier than they were yesterday, right?
That's right.
That's the stuff that matters.
Just know there's at least that one person who's going to watch you and learn from you, and you're going to inspire them, and then they're going to go do their thing. So there's always, I know, this isn't always a great thought when you're in the process of building confidence, but there is always somebody watching you.
Yeah.
Not in a stalker way, but there's somebody always watching you, watching your growth, watching how you're moving and changing and shifting, and you're inspiring them. And you may never know who that person is. So just keep going.
I love it.
Yeah. Any final words before we wrap it up?
I can't wait to hear the stories that we're going to hear.
Have fun, right?
Yeah, just talking to, yeah, every time that we did 3 shorts, so that means we're going to have a little bit of break in between, and then more life's going to happen. And that's the exciting part, that we get to come share. And I would love it if people would come share their experiences with us too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So leaving your questions and comments or stories helps us. We come back to them when we can. It's not an immediate response, not most times, because we're living life too. And this is what we do now, because we struggled for so long, and now that we're living life, we have life to live. So, and we're excited about that. So we will come back to your questions and comments at our earliest convenience, but I do watch them on a regular basis. So with that, be sure to have these conversations with your friends and family. Be sure to like, share, follow, comment on our content. It helps us, and that helps anybody that you listen to who has a podcast or content out there. And we're found on many platforms. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, and I know there's a few more I'm missing, but we're out there. So just come hang out with us. Amy and Bev Community is our channel. So with that, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate your time and energy. And as always, I appreciate Bev and her time. And I always enjoy our conversations. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
I'll see you later.